Hi, Preceptors. It's me from Wayne State University. I wanted to do a quick little video to give you an idea about why I'm asking for your help and assistance because it's just confusing in an email. And I think just verbally expressing it is a little bit easier. So you can hopefully volunteer and feel like this would be a good way for us to collaborate. So I am looking for preceptors to help me create simulations and standardized patient examinations. So the reason I'm doing this is some of you currently have our second year students in their final semester in their clinical immersion. Some of you don't. So those of you that don't know, our second year students are in their final semester. They are going in their clinical immersion for 12 weeks. So they started yesterday and they'll be there for 12 weeks. And then that ends. And then for the last 4 weeks of the semester, they're being brought on campus and we're going to be doing assessments or simulations with standardized patients. The reasons we're doing that is because since the BOC exam no longer requires a practical examination, we're kind of creating these simulations as our check sheet or our check to ensure that our students have the clinical competence and that they are prepared to sit for that BOC examination. Our students do practical exams and competencies throughout the curriculum, but we really kind of want to create these culminating holistic experiences that we can really go ahead and look at it and be like, they're totally prepared and ready to transition to practice, get their first job, and sit for that BOC exam. So that's kind of the vision we're having. So what I'm hoping to do is that work with you guys to maybe collaborate on writing those. As we navigate this new education reform, there's new standards, there's new content, things look different, and I just really think it'd be a great way for me to collaborate with you guys as preceptors to facilitate creating a simulation that's truly based on an authentic experience. As faculty, we have the content knowledge, we're aware of the new standards, we know how to assess things, write objectives, goals, create rubrics, all that types of stuff. But you guys as the preceptors, you're living and breathing this every day. So you have the real world application. And so I need that in order for us to create a simulation that would truly be representative of what our students should be experiencing in the real world. So I think if both of us work together, it'd be really, really advantageous for the students to create good simulations. But I also think it'd be a good way for us to work together so we can learn from each other. So for those of you that don't know what a simulation is, so if you kind of look up, I guess in the evidence, a research or a simulation is defined as any educational activity that utilizes simulation aids to replicate clinical scenarios. So most of us have been exposed to those. If you've even done your basic CPR training, right, the dummy, that would be considered a simulation. Doing a practical exam where you have to do something on a patient, that's a simulation. Then you can even have high fidelity simulations where you have, the mannequins that actually have a pulse and you can assess their heart and they vomit and all of those things. So there's quite a wide range of them. And we already do them in our curriculum. We already have practical exams and competencies, and we even do in-class activities. Some are standardized patients, some are not. So it's kind of a mix of various types, but we do already do them. Also, if you don't know, simulations are part of the new standards. So it's actually written in the standards that you have to have them within your curriculum, which we already do, but this is just a way to make them better. So for us, or for the purpose of me contacting you, I'm really looking for you to work with me on being and creating the standardized patient simulations. So a definition of a standardized patient is an individual who has been trained to portray in a consistent, standardized way to be a patient with a specific medical condition. So it's not just someone who, I look at you and say, oh, you have, right shoulder impingement, and then you just go ahead and pretend to be that person. They're actually trained to do so. Now, you all naturally would probably know how to act and respond in that manner because of just your knowledge as an athletic trainer. But for example, if I had a drama student or someone maybe not associated with the healthcare or our field, they might not know. So they're actually trained to respond in a certain way. So that's kind of the difference than kind of just winging it. So the standardized patient acts as the patient, and they also do the assessment too. So that's something that's different. In a true standardized patient, they assess the student and their performance as well. So there's the primary I guess, person assessing, which probably would be me. And then the standardized patient also assesses the student. And research actually shows that having the standardized patient as the assessor is just as important, if not as more important, influential to the student as far as feedback and assessment of them and their progress, because they're the ones that are actually getting the experience, right, as the students performing the skills on them. So now you kind of know the definitions of a simulation, a standardized patient, kind of what things are about. We want to create, or I want to create one for each of the 5 domains of athletic training. So if we need to refresh, because for some of us it might have been a while. Injury and illness prevention and wellness promotion, examination, assessment, and diagnosis, immediate and emergency care, therapeutic interventions, and then we have our healthcare administration and professional responsibility. So I'll have a minimum of 5. We might do a couple more. We're currently examining the curriculum, and we might find some holes or things that we need to hit again. Or we've really been, talking about things we know the students need. So, there's only one domain for evaluation and assessment, but we're thinking, maybe they need a musculoskeletal, but man, maybe I think we really need to have a simulation for concussions, right? So there might be a couple more than just the 5, because we want to make sure that we're really capturing. And you guys can offer that and help provide that insight too, because that would be amazing, because you guys are the ones that are working with them and living with these real situations day in and day out. So if you're interested, please contact me. Just respond to the email. I can provide you additional information about simulations or standardized patients. And then really we'll just start chatting to see if you're interested, and if so, what type of simulation or standardized patient you would be interested in working on, maybe a certain domain or something like that. I truly believe that this could be a phenomenal way to collaborate and bridge the didactic and clinical education aspects. So really, believe it or not, I'm sending this message because I need you. I really, really need you. Like I said, you guys are the ones that are living this every day. And I would love, love, love to have your perspective. So I need you so I can be better. And then we can be better so we can create better clinicians for the future. So if you're interested, think about it. And if you are, email me and let me know. And I'm super excited. So if you have any questions, just send me an email. Thanks.